Have you ever wondered why, in the exact same crisis, one person crumbles while another seems to find an unshakable strength? Why does a storm that breaks one ship merely test the sails of another? The answer isn't luck and it isn't circumstance, it's structure. On July 7th, 2025, the world isn't going to end, it's going to be audited. This day is a divine filter, a cosmic sorting moment that will not ask what you believe, but will test what you have built within yourself. God's message, everything changes, wasn't a headline for the masses. It was a blueprint given to the architects, those quiet builders of the soul. You are surrounded by static. The world screams for your attention, trying to sell you identities, fears and distractions. It pulls you outward, away from the only place where real power is forged, your inner world. So many are waiting for a miracle, for a booming voice from the heavens. But the divine doesn't operate like a stage magician. The most profound shifts are announced not by thunder, but by a change in frequency, a signal that only the finely tuned can receive. This signal isn't a prize, it's a call to action. But you cannot hear a frequency you are not resonant with. To receive the signal, you must clear your own static, the noise of ego, the vibration of fear, the weight of a past you refuse to release. The reason most will be caught off guard on July 7th is simple: they've been decorating the lobby of their hotel while ignoring the structural foundation. When your life is cluttered with opinions, there is no room for truth. When your heart is heavy with expectations, you cannot feel the subtle pull of destiny. This is why the masters of every tradition, the warrior, the mystic, the monk, train in a state of inner clarity. They know that you cannot pour pure water into a cup that is already full of mud. There's a silent preparation that precedes all great awakenings. A deep-sea diver doesn't decide to prepare when the water pressure is already crushing him. He trains his body for pressure long before he enters the ocean. Your spirit is the same. True transformation doesn't begin with an external event. It begins with the internal decision to build. It starts when you choose discipline over impulse, reflection over reaction, integrity over convenience. These aren't just good habits, they are the steel beams of your inner architecture. And what is this construction for? It's to prepare you for a new reality. The divine call is a signal that a new operating system is being installed for the planet, and it is not shouting, because force is for the weak, frequency is for the aligned. A master craftsman doesn't shout at his tools. He works with them in quiet harmony, preparing a masterpiece for a reveal no one else sees coming. Your spiritual path is that craftsmanship. You are building a vessel. And this vessel is not being built for a calm harbor, it's being built for a cosmic tide. That tide will not ask for your opinion. It will not negotiate, it will simply arrive. And when it does, it will not lift the arrogant or the loud, it will lift the ready. Imagine an Olympic athlete who trains for years in obscurity. On the day of the race, the world sees a moment of glory. They don't see the thousands of hours of silent, grueling work. The soul is no different. When July 7th comes, many will look at those who move with grace, power, and peace and ask, how did they get so lucky? It wasn't luck. It was that they heard the signal long ago and started building. They didn't need the world to validate their path. Their path was the validation. The world demands proof before it will trust. But the spiritual journey is the opposite. You trust, and that trust becomes the proof. You don't wait for the evidence, you become the evidence. God doesn't give you a signal so you can analyze it. He gives it to you so you can become it. The purpose is to rise, to act, to build yourself into a vessel worthy of the light it's meant to carry. The signal before the shift is an act of divine mercy. It is the chance to strengthen your foundation before the earthquake hits. You don't need a cataclysm to believe, you only need to feel the undeniable hum of truth in your own being and start building. This is why inner quiet is a superpower, not because it's peaceful, but because it's the only workshop where true strength can be forged. Some things can only be constructed in silence. So you must train yourself not in how to argue with the world, but in how to build your own. You must ask when chaos erupts, do I become part of it or do I become the anchor within it? When fear whispers, do I obey it or do I observe it? When the herd stampedes, do I run with them or do I plant my feet and trust my foundation? Those who have heard the signal understand that life is not about reacting to events, it is about having a structure that can withstand them. But you cannot have that structure if you haven't first done the work in silence. Most people live in a state of constant collapse. Their triggers control them. Their history defines them. Their unhealed wounds direct them. And when the real pressure comes, they shatter. They will cry, why wasn't I warned? The truth is, the signal was always there, but they were too busy being a reaction to become a creator. Discipline is the engineering of the soul. It is not about self-denial, it is about self-construction. The reason a warrior builds their strength every day is not because they crave battle, but because being ready is their state of being. If you wait until the world is in chaos to find your center, you have no center. Your construction begins now in the integrity of your word, in the focus of your mind, in the kindness of your actions, in the choices you make when no one is watching. These are the bricks and mortar of your inner fortress. And when the great winds blow, only the fortresses built on the rock of truth will remain standing. The signal also tests your purity of intent. Many believe they are ready because they have information. But information without integration is just another form of noise. You can read every spiritual book in the world, but do you embody the wisdom within them? You can talk about light, but do you live in a way that generates it? The signal is not received by the ego, it is received by the core of your being, and your being can only hold the energy it is structurally sound enough to contain. You must release the addiction to being right, the need for applause, the desire to be validated. These are all forms of static that corrupt the signal. When July 7th arrives, the world will see a great sorting. But those who have been building in silence will not be part of the chaos. They will not be surprised. They will simply take a deep breath and hold their ground. Why? Because their stability is not dependent on the external world, but on their internal architecture. Their power does not come from knowing the future, but from having built for it. Their peace does not come from an absence of turmoil, but from a presence of structure. And this is what the signal has always been about: building your structure. The divine does not call you to entertain you. It calls you to elevate you. But you cannot be lifted if you are still anchored to the things that must be left behind. Many pray for a new chapter but refuse to finish the old one. They want to fly but won't let go of the weights they carry. The signal is an invitation to lighten your load, release the grudges, the resentments, the old stories, the victimhood. Only then can you be buoyant enough to rise with the tide. So listen not with your ears but with your entire being. See not with your eyes but with your clarity. Move not by impulse but by integrity. If you feel that inner knowing, that sense that the very ground beneath your feet is changing, that a great unveiling is near, do not dismiss it. Do not rationalize it away. Begin. Reclaim your focus. Reclaim your discipline. Reclaim your power. The signal before the shift is not a phenomenon to be observed, it is a structure to be built. And those who build it will not fear the storm. They will be the lighthouse within it, anchored to a foundation the storm cannot touch, guided by a light the darkness cannot extinguish. There is a fundamental error in how most people view spiritual growth. They believe that intention is the engine of change, that if they want something badly enough, write it down and visualize it, the universe is somehow obligated to deliver it. But the sacred laws of energy are not moved by your wishes, they are moved by your resonance. Reality does not conform to your intentions, it reflects your being. When God said everything changes on July 7, 2025, it was not a memo to the wishful thinkers, it was a frequency call to those who have built themselves into a state of resonance with truth, in their thoughts, their words, and their actions. The critical mistake is to confuse a desire for change with a readiness for it. The universe, the divine, the source, it doesn't listen to the script you recite, it feels the vibration you emit. You can declare your desire for peace while your inner world is a battlefield. You can ask for strength while your habits are weak. You can claim you are ready for a new earth while refusing the discipline to build a new self. This is the fundamental disconnect. This is why the divine signal is only perceived by those whose daily life, their inner talk, their outer actions, their silent choices, has been forged into a single, coherent frequency. That frequency isn't achieved by thinking, it is built through the hard work of alignment. Alignment isn't a performance. It's not about looking spiritual. It's not about the crystals on your shelf or the mantras you post. True alignment is invisible to the crowd, but is the only thing legible to the cosmos. You cannot cheat your own energy. You cannot fake your frequency. You are either tuned to the vibration of truth, or you are not. And when the energetic gateway of July 7, 2025 opens, it will not care what you hope to be, it will only amplify what you have actually become. This is the great, non-negotiable law: energy amplifies what is, not what is wished for. Your energetic signature is the only credential that will matter. The structural integrity of your inner life will be the measure. This is why the work is not about talking more, but about building more. If you claim to want clarity but consistently choose distraction, your structure is weak. If you say you are ready for love, but your heart is closed by resentment, your structure is weak. If you call yourself a healer but you engage in judgment and negativity, your structure is weak. These are not minor flaws, they are critical stress fractures in your spiritual foundation. And when a flood of divine energy pours onto the planet, it seeks a solid container. It flows through those who are whole. It empowers those who are integral, not perfect but integral. The world rewards the loud, the ambitious, the well-marketed. But the universe elevates the coherent, the aligned, the quietly disciplined. There is a sacred physics at play, thought word action to your reality. If your thoughts say, but your words are full of complaint and your actions are born of fear, your reality is chaos. If your thoughts say, I am ready, but your words are excuses and your actions are hesitant, your reality is stagnation. And no matter how loud your affirmations are, if your being is fractured, your energy is out of tune with the coming wave. And a vessel that is out of tune with the current gets overwhelmed by it. The planet is not just shifting its ideas, it is upgrading its base frequency. The changes on the horizon are not designed to reward the clever, they are designed to elevate the coherent. This is why many people who appear successful on the outside will be shaken to their core, while those who have been quietly building their inner structure will rise with an unexplainable calm. There is a velocity to divine energy that only the stable can withstand. There is a clarity to its light that only the transparent can hold. And on July 7th, when this energy intensifies, your level of coherence will not be a choice, it will be a revelation. For many, this will feel like an unbearable pressure. They will feel naked, because when the vibration of truth rises, anything built on a lie is exposed. This is the divine audit, and it's not a test of your knowledge, but of your structure. It will not ask how many spiritual concepts you know, it will ask, have you built your life upon them? It will not ask how many people follow you, it will ask, did you follow your own integrity when no one was watching? It will not ask how eloquently you spoke, it will ask, how solid is your inner world? Coherence is silent, but its impact is absolute. There are three load-bearing pillars of a coherent structure: radical honesty, unwavering discipline, and active surrender. Honesty means you live your truth, especially when it's uncomfortable. You stop betraying yourself to please others. You honor your own soul's code. Discipline means you are the master of your energy, not its slave. You choose your focus. You train your emotions. You build the habits that serve your highest self, not your weakest impulses. And surrender means you release the illusion of control, not from a place of defeat, but from a place of profound trust. You stop trying to force life to fit your plan and instead build a self that is strong enough to flow with the divine plan. Most people try to wrestle with energy. They hustle, they force, they strive. But force creates resistance, alignment creates flow. You must become the conduit, not the dam. You must clear the blockages, the ego that needs to be right, the fear that resists change, the resentment that poisons your field, the impatience that rejects divine timing. These things make your structure brittle. And when the frequency of the world shifts, brittle structures crack. But when you are coherent, you are like a perfectly engineered bridge, flexible yet strong, designed to withstand the most powerful currents, allowing energy to flow through you without breaking you. A sacred timetable is in motion, and just as a flower blooms in its season, so does the soul. But you cannot force the bloom, you can only build the roots. Your roots are your daily discipline. Your roots are your moments of silence. Your roots are the choices you make in the dark when you think no one is watching. What you build in secret determines your strength in public. And on July 7th, the light will not just illuminate the world, it will pass through you or be blocked by you. There will be no neutral ground. Energy does not negotiate with inconsistency. It either flows through a coherent vessel or shatters an incoherent one. This is why this moment, right now, is your construction site. Not tomorrow, not when you feel inspired. Now, because the law is absolute, you will rise to the level of your structure, not your aspirations. You will receive in proportion to your readiness, not your requests. And you will be tested not on what you believe, but on what you have built. You must ask yourself, have I built a self that is capable of holding this new, higher frequency of truth, power, and love? Or am I still hoping the world will change so that I don't have to? You are not waiting for a miracle. The miracle is waiting for you to build a container strong enough to hold it. The divine current is already here. The question is, can you handle it? Are you a worthy vessel, or are you leaking your power through scattered focus, emotional reactivity, and broken promises to yourself? Your capacity to hold energy is your spiritual maturity. And spiritual maturity has nothing to do with age. It is about accountability. It is about awareness. It is about choosing to build yourself day after day, choice by choice, breath by breath. On July 7th, the divine current will surge. Some will rise because their internal structure is sound. Others will be swept away because their foundation was sand. You must build your inner temple now, not with words, but with actions, not with beliefs, but with being. You must clear the debris from your mind. You must reinforce the foundations of your soul. You must open the gates of your heart to allow the light to test your work. Because divine energy does not flow into chaos, it flows into coherence, the coherence of a well-built life. This construction requires brutal, loving honesty. You must look at your life and ask, where is my structure weak? Where am I still leaking energy? Where am I choosing comfort over integrity? The answers may be painful, but they are the architectural plans for your freedom. You cannot strengthen what you pretend is not weak. You cannot align what you refuse to see. But when you do, when you see your own fractures and love yourself enough to start rebuilding, the entire universe conspires to support your work. Not because it is rewarding you, but because you have finally become resonant with its own nature, which is strength, integrity, and truth. And this is the final truth. Coherence is not a destination you arrive at, it is a state you return to again and again. Every moment is a new choice. Every breath is a chance to retune. Every decision is an act of construction or demolition. Like a master architect, you don't just build a structure and walk away. You tend to it daily, you check for stress points, you reinforce it with conscious care. Because the life you live, the reality you experience, is the direct result of the integrity of your inner structure. When the sacred day comes, the world will not transform you, it will reveal you. The flood of energy will not create your coherence, it will test it. And so, the most vital work you can do is not to hope, not to fear, but to build. Not in theory, but in practice. Not for an audience, but for your soul. Not to survive the future, but to become worthy of it. Because in the end, it will not be your good intentions that see you through the storm. It will be your good structure. It will be your coherence. It will be the house you built.